Mr. President, distinguished delegates, I stand here deeply moved at the coincidence of speaking after my colleague, the Minister of Botswana. Given that my grandfather, Z.K. Matthews, was the first founding ambassador of the newly independent Botswana, standing here in 1966. Mr. President, I represent the President of our country, South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, as I stand here today. As government and civil society in South Africa, we respect and act on the decisions of the United Nations. This includes actions in response to the 2015 Sustainable Development Goals, which are a transformative global development agenda. South Africa's National Development Plan is the policy we've adopted to execute our commitment to achieve the SDGs. Our plan complements our efforts to support peace, development and security on our continent and the aspiration of our African Union's Agenda 2063. We believe that in order to achieve these goals, all member states should establish partnerships, primarily with the private sector and civil society organizations, to ensure a shared joint commitment aimed at realizing a world free of poverty and underdevelopment. Mr. President, one of the biggest obstacles to building a world free from poverty and inequality is intolerance. This includes intolerance of other nations, intolerance of our fellow human beings, as well as inadequate care for the natural environment that sustains us all. Intolerance is exhibited most gruesomely by the evidence of gender-based violence and exclusion of women from many sectors in society. Our country, South Africa, is taking urgent steps to address the scar of gender-based violence. All of us need to act urgently to ensure that we all enjoy full access to human rights and that all our citizens, particularly women, enjoy bodily security. We also face an existential threat due to our intolerance, disrespect, and veritable violence that we inflict on the planet which we all depend on. This organization, however, Mr. President, is a manifestation of the rejection of intolerance. It was created in the aftermath of a devastating world war as a global forum where nations of the world can address differences and work together for the common good of all people. Our annual gathering here in this assembly hall should provide us an opportunity to recommit to these important values. I firmly believe that we are all here because we are committed to the idea of multilateral solutions to the world's problems, which draws on strength through diversity. Diversity of perspective, born from differences in upbringing and culture. By being here, therefore, we recognize that we need each other and we need to work together. We must therefore use this opportunity to rally against intolerance of any kind so that nations can live in peace and respect each other, irrespective of nationality, religion, ethnic or social origin, gender, or any other status. It is through our differences that we should find strength and not division. Mr. President, our country, South Africa, has unfortunately not been immune from evidence of intolerance and division in some parts of our nation. The incidents of violence and looting that erupted in parts of our provinces of Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal were regrettable and shameful for a nation with such a proud history of struggle and international solidarity support. The government of South Africa strongly condemned these tragic actions and is working hard at ensuring we address the security lapses and intolerance that led to this violence. We are working tirelessly to tackle crime and lawlessness and to ensure that the arrested criminals face the full might of the law. We are also committed to addressing the inadequacy of our immigration administration in order to curb illegal migration and to make sure everyone who comes to South Africa is documented and safe. We plan to work with all countries of the continent to ensure that we implement our development strategies and use them to create increased economic opportunities for all our people so that we diminish feelings of resentment and antipathy. Working with civil society, we will build bridges that allow all who live in South Africa to reach out to each other to build bonds of friendship and Pan-Africanism. Mr. President, I am pleased that I can honestly confirm to this important global body that South Africa has an unwavering commitment to our continent, Africa. We have made dedicated efforts to contribute positively in support of peace and development on our continent, and we will continue these efforts even as we work to address the inadequacies I have referred to.